Hello, everybody. I just wanted to say, man, there's this system in society. It's like, you have a pyramid of people. You have the good, you have the bad, but in God's eyes, everybody is a sinner. And in reality, what I've seen, being a convicted felon myself, people look down on me, and they think I'm still a criminal, or they think I'm still a gang member, or you know what I mean. I'm gang banging again, but I'm not. I left all of that alone when I gave my life to Christ, and I think that there should be like an equal opportunity for convicted felons like myself who want to change, but they're looked down upon. So when you go to a job interview, you have people they look down upon you, and they don't want to give you a job because, hey, you got felonies. And that's just crazy, man. But the issue is, if a person is trying to change, then you should give them an opportunity to change. You should give them more opportunities to get jobs. And there is places that don't even care about a background, just as long as you're not, a pedophile or a sexual offender. But man, like, I've noticed when I go to job interviews and when they ask you about your background and you tell them honestly, hey, I haven't been in trouble in 2 years. Yes, I was convicted of, a violent crime, or I was convicted of theft or whatever. And they do that background check, they never call you back. So the problem is people look down upon people with records. Yeah, he has a criminal history, so I'm not going to give him a job because he might steal from my store, or he might steal from my business. But that's just crazy, because there are people out there that are really trying to change, and then what you do is you make them feel tempted to sell drugs again. You make them feel tempted to rob people again. You make them feel tempted to do those things again because you don't want to give them a job. And that's just crazy, because I don't want to rob, I don't want to sell drugs, I don't want to try to make fast money again, because let's just face it, what happens when you do that? You go to jail, you end up in prison. Who wants to go to jail and prison, man? Nobody. And I was in and out of jail all my life, man. From the age of 15 to 36, I was in and out of jail, bro. Juvenile detention, jail, almost went to prison twice, and all of that. I tried to get my life right a few years back by, following a false religion. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm not going to say what religion it was, but, and for 4 years I stayed out of trouble. I didn't get in any trouble, but I was still stealing every now and then. But now, it's been 2 years since I've been in trouble, and I'm keeping it that way because I'm not trying to go back to jail. I'm not trying to go back into that revolving door. And that's what they call it for a person like myself. It's a revolving door. You get out, you come back in. You get out, you come back in. Not no more, man. I can't do that. Because I have a family now. I have a beautiful wife, and, a nice church, a church family, accountability partners, and I'm trying to better myself, serving Christ. And I hold a sign that says Jesus saves. I'm not bragging about anything I've done, because let's just face it, man, outside of Jesus, this man is wicked, this man is evil, impure in every way. And but I want to change, and I have changed. I've seen the change in my life that God has made because I took a step towards him. And like when you step towards God to go the right way, man, he's going to open those doors. And I was blessed with a job. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts for a year. Then I quit that job back in August. Was on unemployment. Then I got a job at Steak and Shake. I got fired 3 days later. Then I got a job again after like 5 months of unemployment. I got a job at Miami Grill and I got fired after 14 days. They didn't specify why they fired me, but they said because I was slow and kept making mistakes. But I just put it like this, man, like, there's people out there that are really trying to change, and society shuns them because of their background or because of the mistakes that they've made in the past. And they're not making those mistakes anymore. They're trying to change, but society won't let them. You know? They just kick you to the curb because you're a convicted felon. And it's been 2 years since I was charged with the crime. You know? And I'm keeping it that way. I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to do anything so that the laws arrest me. Trust me, I support the police. I support the sheriff. I support the highway patrol officers 100%. Because these men are just doing their job. And we go to biblical truth. In Romans 13, it says, honor the governing authorities, for no authority is put there but by God. So all of those police officers, all those sheriffs, all those highway patrol officers, all of the presidents, all of the governing officials, they were all placed there by God. You know, and the law was ordained by God. You know, this is why he gave the 10 commandments to Moses. Not including the 503 commandments. Not including those 503 commandments. Or 603 commandments outside of the 10. You know, God ordained this law so people would follow the law and obey it. And it's the same way with law enforcement. You know, you have to obey the law if you're going to serve God. Because they're placed there to keep us in line. And if we do something wrong, then, you know, we have to be a man enough to admit it. Hey, I did the crime, I'm going to do the time. You know, every crime I committed, I did time for it. Hard time, you know what I mean? And whether it was a year, whether it was 6 months, 98 days, 30 days, I did my time. I committed the crime, and I did the time for it. You know, people don't understand this concept because they think, you know, they're innocent until proven guilty. This is what they're told in the court of law, but I don't care about that. I know that I committed the crime, so I had committed that crime, and I deserved to be in jail for it because I did it. I was guilty, and I did it. Every crime I committed, I did it except one. I was put in jail for a burglary and for grand theft, and I didn't do it. But I sat in Osceola County Jail for 98 days for a crime I didn't commit, me and my ex-wife. And because she was not a U.S. citizen, she couldn't plea out to a charge, so the deal was that I take trespassing, and she gets nothing. You know, released, charges dropped. But I take a trespassing charge. And that's what I ended up doing. Well, we never did a crime. We never committed a crime. We never broke into the place that they said we did. And the people pointed us out of the lineup. Of course, they're going to point me out because I have a criminal history, man. Now, this is what I'm talking about. If you look like somebody that committed the crime and the police suspect you did it, you will get arrested, even if you didn't do it. That's just crazy. Because I've been in the wrong place at the wrong time. On International Drive one time, I guess Applebee's got robbed, and the cops pulled up on me saying I looked like the guy that did it. And I was wearing the same exact clothes he was wearing. How crazy is that? Thank God I didn't get arrested for armed robbery. You know, they found out that it wasn't me, you know, but they thought I was the guy. And all because I have a criminal background when they run my name. Hey, you know, he got an extensive criminal history. That's what they call it, you know. Gang, you know, gang, in the gang book and all of that. Well, if I look back, man, like I know I committed crimes that I didn't serve time for, man. And if I got caught for everything I did, I'm pretty sure I would be in prison. But I got locked up for that crime that I didn't do one time. Honest to God, I never did anything. It was December 20th, I still remember. And me and my ex-wife got arrested. Their canines followed us all the way out to where we were at. At that time, I was homeless. Me and my wife were living in the woods, and their canines followed the trail all the way to us, and they stopped at us, and they arrested us, and then they took us out, and the guy pointed us out and saying, "Yeah, that's them," you know, like seriously. But I never did anything. I didn't do anything, you know what I mean? But just because the guy said I did it, we got arrested. Just because the guy said it was me and my wife, an Asian woman and a white male, you know, how crazy is that? The person said that an Asian woman and a white male was breaking into their hotel stealing copper, and then pointed us out. And it's just crazy, you know, we got arrested because of that. We were put in jail for nothing. You know, but it's crazy, man, because, like I said, if someone commits a crime that's wearing the same clothes you got on or matches your description, they will arrest you. They will. And I guess that's just a sign of poor judgment on the police's part. Because just because I'm wearing all black and the person that shot somebody was wearing all black, they say I look like that person. And then I get arrested and thrown in jail for shooting somebody that I never shot. But that's what they do. I don't know what to think about that, man, but the reality is, even if you didn't even have a gun or they don't find GSR on your fingers and you're not guilty, they're still going to arrest you because you meet the description of the person who did it. This is crazy. Well, that's what they do. I know because I went through that. I got arrested for a burglary that I didn't do, a grand theft that I didn't do, that I was not guilty of, and did 98 days in jail for it. And then they eventually dropped the charges down to trespassing because they had no evidence. No evidence to point us to the crime. They didn't find any copper with us. They didn't find any copper on our hands. And they tested our hands for copper to see if we were doing it. But I'm like, seriously? How are we going to carry copper and what are we going to do with it? But they just assumed that we did it. And that's just crazy. You know? But this is just an example to show you, man, like, if you have a rap sheet, you know, basically, you're scarred for life. Like me having a rap sheet, just because I have criminal charges from my past, the cops look down on me because I'm a convicted felon. I've committed crimes, and I was guilty of all of them, and I paid the time for my crimes, but I still get looked down on in society because of it. I still get looked down on in society because of it. And there was crimes that I committed that I never got caught for, and but they say even if you don't get caught at the time, you will eventually get caught. It will eventually catch up to you. That's why I don't do it no more. That's why I obey the law. That's why I don't give them a hard time. Because, I'm trying to be a better man. I'm doing my best to be a better man. And not break the law and get in trouble with the law. And then get arrested for, whatever. Criminals, they break the law, and in reality, I deserve to get arrested for every crime I committed. And I paid the price for them. I did it, and I was guilty. And, I guess I could say I'm man enough to admit that I deserved whatever time in jail I did, because I did the crimes. You know what I mean? And I think the same thing with anybody who breaks the law. That they deserve it. Because they did it. Now, if a person is trying to change their life and they're no longer breaking the law and they still get looked down upon, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this theory because I believe that people change. As you get to a certain age in life where you're like, I can't do that no more, man. I've had enough of this lifestyle. I can't do it no more. Now I'm going to do what's right. And they know better. But people, and I've been locked up with people who are like, man, I wish I wasn't in jail, but I'm just like, look, if you didn't commit the crime, then you wouldn't be in jail. But since you did it, you're in jail. It was your actions that brought you to this place. You know what I mean? It was my actions that placed me inside corrections. It was my actions that caused me to get charged with several crimes. My actions. Nobody else's. There wasn't no negligence on the police part. They were only doing their job when I was arrested. And you have several people, they'll, tell you, hey, man, I don't deserve to be in jail, but you do. I did. Because I committed the crimes. I did it. And people might disagree with me on this, but I'll just say it like this, man. Like, if you commit a crime, best believe that you're going to get arrested for it if you get caught. Because there were several crimes that I did that I never got caught for, man. I guess, I was just fortunate at the time. I did them and I didn't get caught. And I'm like, yeah, I got away. But in reality, I was just as guilty as anybody else. Guilty as charged. And I think the same thing with anybody, man. Like, if you commit a crime, you're going to get arrested for it. People might disagree with me on this, man, but I'm just going to leave it there, man. Y'all have a good night. God bless. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. I don't really care if you do or not, but, y'all have a good night.